I do not support Measure G, contrary to the Chamber. I was persuaded after attending a number of open houses and whatnot to support Measure Y, somewhat reluctantly, but I was persuaded. And I presumed that it really was going to run for the 8 years and then it was going to end, and then we would have an opportunity to sit back, look at that, decide whether Measure Y accomplished what we wanted it to or did not accomplish what we wanted it to. And now, before we've even reached that point, we've got a Measure G on the ballot. I understand all the rationale behind that. If Measure G does pass, I will be like anybody else who's up here and going to say that I will work diligently to make sure that the monies that are raised by Measure G are used for what the people in the city of San Luis Obispo think they are going to be used by. As far as how I would rein in the costs, that is such a wide-ranging question, there's no way I can answer that in 10 seconds I've got left. I apologize.
As grows our nation, so it rolls down the hill to our city level. I think our nation is in trouble. Financially, we're looking for some hard times getting worse. Bankruptcy of this country and the takeover by foreign international banksters will be affecting this town. So what we need to do is to extract our funds from those risky places run by those international concerns and bring those funds home and invest locally. That would be a higher chance of having a sustainable financial status of this town if we rescue our at-risk monies far away invested.
Yes, I'd like to say that, well, I'm Scotch-Irish, and I believe in principles of good old-fashioned thrift in my own life and throughout the city and everything I do. So no waste is really important in terms of reining in expenditures. However, I am in favor, very much in favor of Measure G, and I think it's okay if the city's budget grows and if we offer more services and if we do things like bringing in the broadband, increasing the infrastructure so the broadband can expand and we can have some more high-tech businesses. It's okay if we need to hire more police officers to counter what's happening around the university when, like on Halloween coming up, or to work with what's happening in the downtown in terms of transients. It's okay if we have the money and if we spend it well, we can really make progress in this city.
I wish the City Council had an attitude of a bit more thrift. Let me give you just one recent example. The council just voted and spent $170,000 on leadership training. I made a presentation asking that perhaps we could ask the employees, given they're the beneficiary, to maybe perhaps pay half of this cost, and that was voted down by council. You know, that's just one example. We spend money too easily. I think down the road, or even now, pensions are our biggest problem, not only in San Luis, but in all levels of government. Just very quickly, for those of you who run businesses, you'll contrast your pension plan. Do you know that the city, for miscellaneous employees, spends an equivalent of their salary, 25% goes off to PERS. For safety, it's 42% of salaries get paid to PERS. No, we will be in trouble soon. We should consider this closely.
I support Measure G. I appreciate the want to grow our community, to address the infrastructure needs that our residents want to see. And I appreciate the fact that so much of the revenues generated through Measure G come from visitors, and it helps our city address the needs and impacts that visitors create when they're here in San Luis Obispo. I believe many of our residents are driven to see some major projects completed. We'd like to see additional housing so that we can balance our job housing conflict and get more residents working and living here in San Luis Obispo. I believe there's some major roadway projects that we can move forward on and help the city work towards completing and addressing some of our major traffic issues that face the south side of town. And so I want to help the city focus on proactive projects that will address our needs and push us in the right direction. If we need to defer maintenance on our fleet or leave one parking lot resurfaced so that we can put those revenues towards building new projects. I believe that's the thing residents want,
Thank
and
you.
Measure G revenues can be used for that.
Hi, and I oppose Measure G, and here's why. It would be a great thing if this monies were earmarked for exactly what they were supposed to go to. I have great concerns. When it was Measure Y, these monies did not go to where they were promised. There was a lot of promises, none of them kept. It went into a general fund, and in my opinion, most likely went to employee benefits. I believe a new measure altogether should be developed that does earmark the money for exactly what they claim it's going to, and see to it that it does go to these places. Thank you.
I support Measure G. I think we needed it the last 10 years, and I think we are going to need it in the next 8 years. I also want to say that, it's always a fine balance between making cuts and investments. And, I tend to err on the side of making sure that we're making good investments. As soon as we start to focus on cuts, I think that it's sort of the beginning of the end. We're looking to an improved economy, too. We need the capacity and the staff morale to really meet the challenges that we're going to be meeting, hopefully as the economy improves and the growth that we're looking to see happen in the next 10 years.
Thank you. I support Measure G, and I wanted to say one thing about Gordon's comments about leadership training. As a proud graduate of Leadership Class 4, I know the Chamber believes in investing in its leadership training, so I want to be clear about that. During the recession, the city made great strides in balancing its budget. It reduced pension and compensation benefits. Staff took across the board over 6% cuts, and we actually have a balanced budget now, except for our unfunded pension liabilities, which are caused by the way CalPERS operates. And I know the City Council is increasingly exploring ways to move towards reducing those unfunded pension liabilities, and so that's one area we're going to be reining in expenditures. The other thing is that we have gone through and are going through organizational assessments, which means each part of our department of our city is looking for ways to make things more efficient and improve efficiency, improve effectiveness, and that will also rein in expenditures. Thanks.